searing conditions, awfully gusty as well here at the 2013 Australian Nationals at Sydney Dragway, and the smarter of the gang heading to the 4X retreat for some
field. So it does mix up the first round matchups. Just
Rick Dorsey very heavily involved in the administrative side of Andra Championship Drag Racing.
Right inside this car, the young crew chief on it, James Rowland, he tries just about everything and anything to make this car go fast. And they've got so much horsepower at the moment, it's just a matter of matching it up to the racetrack, which that's what they're struggling with at the moment.
Man, it's going to be a fat 2014 for that team, isn't it? So we wait for the Aeroflow Performance Products entry. All part of the Rocket Industries Group, have been wonderful supporters of the Sportsman Drag Racing Championship this year. That is
two fantastic funny cars. Now, huge hole shot for Rick Dorsey, massive hole shot. He has problems though. Steve Ham drives around him and gets a win, a 5.60, gets a win over a troubled 6.71. But man, Dorsey strapped a hole shot on him.
An 07
second into this round of racing, I should say. And Gary Phillips.
The pit report now, and Steve Ham joins me. Now, you've already wrapped up second place, but you want this meeting, but there's something on the track that is your gremlin and you can't overcome it. Tell us about that.
Okay, it gets to about just before the finish line, and there's a big bump there, and every time it hits the bump, the car actually goes airborne, and it hits the rev limiter and it breaks the blower belt. So every run we've been going about 5.2 seconds, the belt breaks and we can't stop it at the moment. So I'm just hoping that Gary's still battling the track and we scoot on down there for a high 50 or low 60, and we'll be happy with that.
Discount the guy. He's just won his 16th national title. He's got another one in Top Door Slammer. The guy can win anything. Conditions getting a lot better here for the top alcohol cars as the sun starts to go down here in Sydney as well.
Just cooling conditions just a little bit. Bring the boys back into stage. You have to think Cornelia be pumped up about next year. You have to think that Newby will want some. And he lives, of course, just down the road from this racetrack, or his race shop is certainly based. This is a weapon, the Board Mustang up against Gary Phillips. Of course, a couple of Queenslanders, Chevy Monte Carlo shot Gary Phillips against the Mustang of Stephen Ham.
Just a mean-looking bit of gear, isn't it? It's just a fantastic-looking body for drag racing, that Mustang. The Monte Carlo, seen a lot of laps these days for Gary Phillips. This thing's been up and down the racetrack one or two times. And as always, Debbie Phillips guides her husband into stage. She says, "You're set to go." It's got to give you a lot of confidence when you go through that same routine every time, and you've won just about every time you go down the racetrack.
Here we go, Rusty. Phillips v. Ham for the Nationals here at Sydney Dragway. Nothing in it at the lights. Ham out of shape, Phillips out of shape. Gary, phenomenal. Another win in a bursting cabinet. 5.49 with a 7. 421 clicks, thank you, baby.
That is a booming run. That is the quickest ET and biggest speed we've seen all weekend by almost half a tenth of a second. That is incredible in the heat of the day. I mean, Steve Ham, he was driving that thing all the way to the finish line. A 5.61 looks slow.
We're trying. Sunrise said like 16 championships for Luke.